so good to see you all in the house. What a wonderful way to start, right? Going back to the motherland.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Guinea translates in English as woman. And that's why we're here, to celebrate women, to celebrate women who work, right? And it's okay if our work is also play. It needs to be inspired. So I wanted to let you know that I am Aisha Abu, and I was invited, not on my own merit, but because they really wanted my daughter. So I got to tag along.
Good.
So we're here, so we'll be your MCs for the evening, and so we are here to inform you about the wonderful performers that are coming to the stage this afternoon. And Pumi's going to tell you a little bit more about Collage Dance Company and her relationship to the company.
Well, I'm not really in collage yet, but I'm taking their classes, and it's really fun. I like it a lot. And I think of it as inspiring, and it's just, I think it's really fun, and I want to be a part of it when I'm older.
Collage is celebrating 33 years. Passing the tradition. So collage is an example of embodied sankofa, right? Where we can go back and we can bring it forward and we can teach the young people through this dance form. We're learning more than just movements, but we're also learning about culture and about ourselves.
Yeah.
So Fumi is already interested in that because she has this modeling. So we also have some other former collage dancers coming to the stage. Next is
Asha, chin float.
Yeah! Ooh. Yeah. Also comes from a long lineage of dancers. I got to work with her grandmother, who was an amazing dancer, and her mother, who is an amazing dancer, her sisters, who are all amazing dancers, and she also is an amazing dancer. And who's going to tell us a little bit about why she thinks Asha is so amazing?
Well, she sometimes teaches the classes at Santa's Dance Academy, and watching her dance is like really beautiful and fun.
So Asha is going to be bringing to us a solo piece that she choreographed in 2017, and it is to a poem by a poet, spoken word poet named Joseph Solomon. The piece is entitled Shadow of a Doubt, and it's dedicated to her mother. Her mother was a fearless woman of God and a fearless dancer who has inspired Asha to push beyond her own doubt to reach her own potential. Let's give it up for Asha.
I remember my little niece ran up to me and told me, "We learned about Jesus today." And I could tell by her smile she was so excited to learn about this man that she did not quite know yet, but she knew without a doubt for it to be true, because after all, Mommy said so. And that was the first time in my life that I looked into the eyes of a child and envied them, because she had no idea of what it feels like to doubt. What it feels like to have your entire belief system overloaded with skepticism. To never know the day that you would finally be able to live beyond the shadow of a doubt. I've lived in its darkness for so long. It seems like I have all the right questions, but never enough answers, and my faith is small enough to fit in the cracks of my palms. God, every night I lay my head down to sleep, the city of my mind is attacked by a legion of questions, threatening the living rooms of my sanity and holding them hostage. Can you help me? Last year, my grandmother laid in a hospital bed like a bus stop, waiting for God to come pick her up. I had never seen such pain and such confidence living in the same eyes when she told me, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know who I belong to, and I was so happy for her. And something inside of me wished that somehow before she passed away, she could pass down her confidence in God to me like an old family picture. I remember sitting in the back row of a cold sanctuary, crying, because I desperately wanted what the preacher was saying to be true, but my doubts were preaching a sermon of their own, and the streams of my tears turned into oceans of frustration. I remember sitting in a college classroom, and the only thing being tested is my faith in God. The only thing passing is my hope. Me, in a backpack full of fear, nowhere to go, no one to help me unpack. I sleep, but I never rest. These lines around my eyes are not wrinkles, they are maps that show you the winding roads that lead to my pain. I'm tired. I'm tired. And I'm longing for the day that I can place my fingers in his nail-pierced hands, because honestly, I've considered quitting, but where will I go? Back? There's no home for the living in the land of the dead, so I keep pressing forward. Today I have faith, but I can't make any promises about tomorrow. I'm surprised I've held on this long. God, just make me feel like I'm not crazy. God, let me know that I'm not just making friends with these walls when I pray. I'm not questioning you. I just got questions. Don't leave me here.
Our next artist is Y'all know her? I'm just getting introduced. So y'all know her. Yeah, give ring and give love. Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to getting to know Linda more with her work today. Linda is an advocate for healthy families and communities, and boy, don't we need that. She is part of Women Collective, bringing poetry and prose, presenting women as a work of wonder. Let's bring Linda to the stage with a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, Durham. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So I'm so grateful for family and friends in the audience, and I'm going to share 4 poems during this short time. Much of what I pen reflects my best gifts, my faith, and my family. Now my hope always is that the reader or the audience, that you will see me and perhaps see yourself in my words on paper. Why I write. My writing, the most real that I am, ever was, or ever will be. I don't share my writings often. I do share during emotional times. Created chapters, poems presented, gifts to people, saying thanks for you helped me. I appreciate God's doing in others' lives. Testimony sparks reflection, issues in my own life. Another's deliverance and healing. I see, I care, I share, I know, I write, I invite. Know what my writing's all about? Own reflections and creations, unconstructed. Determined destination. Process. Allow God control of hand and heart. Gives idea and inspiration for understanding and regulated comic relief. Heavy subject, lightened, perhaps lyric. My writing's about puberty, young adult life, friendship, food, church folk. The meaning of life, purpose and power pondered, postponed pretense, hearty laughter heals through teardrops, tantrums teased, twixt, maturity, madness. Motionless flow of words, ideas and experiences expressed. Can I just make it happen? Oh my. The ongoing story of life, co-authored by God? No. Just waiting to say thanks. Taking the risk, being real and transparent. A blessing. Daring puts emotion on paper. Daring to share. Windows open to God and others' view. See me, my themes of a life story, being real. And for women, as a wife, partner, mother, sister, employer, being slow to speak may be appropriate at times, just maybe. So, such a temper tantrum woman. When I'm going through a storm, I'm supposed to trust the captain of this ship wreckage of a life. They say, they sing, they preach, promoting, turn it over to the Lord. Jesus, I realize I'm not in control, really. Go with the flow, hold to God's hand unchanging, interchanges, incite instant irritations, insults, intimidation, insidious instances, habitual heart-hardening, hurt, hidden, barrage of feeling often hurt, so often want to do better, to be better, to better communicate without so much emotion. God, I need a timeout. Two more pieces. So women know the way of things, the way things ought to go. But it can happen. Still, we know. Willow, root, sway with that moves within. Trauma happens, sway. be grounded, breath in body, fully present, a vivid presence. Roots, wind shifts, stability. Bow down. Lastly, I am grateful for women everywhere. I'm so grateful for women in this space. I see you, I see you, I see you, a strong woman. Like a mirror's reflection, she possesses strength and weakness of others within. Her heart proclaims peace as memory parades shatter destination like weather wounds of yesterday and today. Abuse, betrayal, poverty. Sad tunes demand dreams ooze away as people bleed silent pain. Surrender yourselves. Gain, grant forgiveness. Freedom. Hallelujah.
So appreciative of how full we are, how full we are, how multidimensional we are. You know, that we can recover from pain and struggle with joy and laughter. I think about the board as we get ready to invite our next guest. So I'm married to a horror player, and so I have to contest with the gourd all the time. The gourd has a beautiful shape, very curvy. I didn't get that. It's okay. But what's in the gourd is so much, and what can be put into the gourd is so much. And so we are very receptive as women. We take on whether they're projects or other people's problems, right? Our children, just so nurturing. But what we have to give out on the other side of that is joy and laughter, is celebration. And so we are going to celebrate with our next number, and who is going to tell us who that is?
Please welcome to the stage, Calabasa Calabasa.
Yeah, Calabasa Calabasa is dancing and making the music of life. So their mission is to spread joy. And they sing in many different languages, so I need you to warm up your own tongue, okay? Bienvenidos. Bienvenidos. Okay. What else? Aquaba.
Aquaba.
Karibu.
Karibu.
So they're going to be bringing dancing, singing, in all of these different languages, and all of our different mother tongues. Again, let's give it up for Calabasa. That's not true, but I miss dancing with them. So, what do we have next?
Well, are you ready for story time?
Yes.
Okay, so every time I say once upon a time, you're going to say time. Once upon a time?
Time.
Once upon a time?
Time.
Good.
So, now you are ready to receive the resonant and sultry voice, the voice of so much character and full of characters.
Please welcome to the stage, Dorothy Clark.
Well, hello. Oh, I'm so glad to see y'all here. I am just so excited that you're here. I have a fabulous story to tell you about today. I just can hardly contain myself. I'm just so excited to tell you about a village that existed long ago. But we need to know about it because there's something we need to learn from it. Now, I'm going to tell you the story today about the village of We Be One. Did you hear that? We Be One. Now, this was a village in the beginning. The land was empty, but the air was fresh. It was filled with the aroma of flowers and fruits and vegetables that were growing all over it was wonderful. And the land there were no people. There were no people, but the land was plentiful. Plentiful. There was lots of room for plenty wasn't overflowing with lots of folks getting in the way of other people. So folks started coming. They came to this place and they made a village. They came from distant islands, from distant lands, and the people that came looked different on the outside. But what they discovered was that where it counted, on the inside, we be one. We be one. So the people that came were all different, but they had a talent. They brought their talent and their skills to the village, and people started to get to know each other. Twice a year. Wait a minute.
All right.
So where it counted, they looked different on the outside, but inside where it counted, they discovered we be one. Twice a year, they had a festival. And it was a chance for people to, get to know their neighbors and to show off the skills and the talent that they had to offer to their new village home. Everybody looked forward to the high notes. Now, I know probably some of y'all can hold a tune, sing on key or sing in key, however you say it. But the high notes, when the high notes sang, the music would pierce through your soul, wrap itself around your body, and then smack you on the cheek. Now that's some singing. That is some singing, I'm telling you. So everybody looked forward to hearing the high notes at the festival twice a year. And then there was another group of people that came to the village, and they were the toe tappers. Now, just like I told you, as good as the high notes could sing, that's how good the toe tappers could dance. Now, they would throw their partners up in the air and catch them before they hit the ground. They jumped over furniture, over chairs, and I don't know how they did, but sometimes they did this to music, sometimes they danced while the high notes were singing. Now, that was something to behold. That was really something to behold. But that's how people added to the village and made it solidify, sharing and having fun together. And then, so there was the high notes, and there was the toe tappers, but the ones that held it all together, there was the pot stirrers. The pot stirrers, now, these are people who could cook. You give them some fat back and they will make you eat anything. One year, they almost started a fight between two really good friends. What had happened was, this one woman was sitting at the table, she had her plate and she was eating. And her friend comes in, another woman comes in and sits beside her. Now they're good friends, but she sits down and the woman is just eating and she just smacking her lips and licking her fingers and ain't paying no attention to her good friend. So finally the friend says, well, what you eating? And she just kept on eating and licking her fingers. Oh, this is just about the best barbecue I ever had in my life. And she just kept on eating. So her friend got up, ran over to the table, got her a plate before it was all gone. She came back and she sat down and she started eating. Now, sure enough, it was good. It was some good barbecue. But as she was eating, she thought, this don't taste like no pig or cow, not even no goat that I ever had. So she turns to her friend and she said, girl, what kind of meat is this we eat? She turned to her with an innocent smile and said, girl, don't you know possum when you taste it? Well, I tell you, that woman was so outdone. She was mad at her friend for having tricked her, but that barbecue was so good and them sweet potatoes, she just kept on eating and cussing at the same time. And then when she finished That's the kind of fun that went on at these festivals. Every year, twice a year. Now, there was another group. There was another group of people that come, and they were called the latecomers. Probably because they was the last ones to come. They were the latecomers. And it seemed, as far as everybody could determine, their skill and their talent was making money. So the latecomers started to bring about some changes in the village. First of all, the festival that everybody looked forward to, they started charging a registration fee for people who wanted to. Now, the festival had never belonged to no one group before, but they just took it upon themselves to charge. If you want to set up a booth or you want to sell barbecue, you got to pay a registration fee. And then they went so far as to charge everybody else admission.
Oh no.
Now here's the thing. It was so bold and such a brash action that people were so taken aback they didn't know how to protest. So they just went along. But the oh goodness. The newcomers went further. They took it upon themselves to assert authority that nobody gave them and that nobody asked them to take on. So they took a little and there was no pushback, so they took a little more. They started looking at people and they looked at the toe tappers and decided they didn't belong there. So they told them they needed to leave the village because they didn't fit in with everybody else. They was not our kind. It didn't take long. They got rid of the toe tappers. And then they pushed out the pot stirrers. Of all the people, can you imagine? They pushed out the pot stirers. Told them they need to go back from where they come from. Yes, they did. Now, some of them people had never been no place but that village. But they told them, you're a bad influence on the community. Now, the way that they were able to do this, the high notes had to start looking at the situation and analyzing the situation. And I neglected to tell you at the beginning that the high notes was a group of women's. And you know, women's is good at negotiating. They go on with a negotiating team. So they started looking at how things was going and figured they'd be next. And they realized that somehow, for some reason, nobody knew where they got them from, but the newcomers had guns. So it gave them an unreasonable influence over everybody else, because everybody else had no gun. What are they doing with a gun? It's a friendly neighborhood. It's a friendly village. So the high notes thought about it and figured they had to put the newcomers on the same level as them. But they didn't. It never occurred to them to take up their guns. That would not be right because it was their property. Negotiators. What they did, they decided they would take all their bullets. Now the high notes were also cleaning people. They made their money cleaning houses, cleaning offices, cleaning. They were excellent. Not only could they sing, but they were excellent cleaning. So they started looking as they were cleaning. They took bullets out of drawers. They took bullets out of closets. They took bullets out of everywhere. And when they were convinced they had all the bullets, they went to the newcomers and said, we need to talk. And they sat down and they talked. they talked about why we need to have this between us, why we need to have this friction. Well, they didn't completely win over the newcomers, but they did come to a point where they could agree that maybe we should have a little more conversation before we make a big, bold move, like pushing somebody out. So, the high notes were able to talk to the newcomers. They were able to convince them to let's try another way. Let's try a different way. And if it don't work, then we'll go back to what it was. But in the meantime, they assured them they had all their bullets, they were in a safe place, and they could have them back if they really needed the guns. So, let me tell you what the moral of this story is. Sometimes when there's an argument, you see you can't come to an agreement, the thing to do is to change the subject. Let's see if we can't come to an agreement on something else and then work our way back around to that original problem. So, and if that still don't work, then what you have to do is get some like-minded people and everybody get together and get in the room, get in the kitchen, whatever it is, and call on a higher power.
All right.
You might have to just get together and all God's children, send up a message. Come by here, my Lord, come by here. Come by here, my Lord, come by here. Come by here, my Lord, come by here. Oh, Lord, come by here. Somebody needs you, Lord, come by here. Come on, help me. Somebody needs you, Lord, come by here. Somebody needs you, Lord, come by here. Oh, Lord, come by here. Somebody's crying, Lord, come by here. Somebody's crying, Lord, come by here. Somebody's crying, Lord, come by here. Oh, Lord, come by here. Come by here, my Lord, come by here. Come by here, my Lord, come by here. Come by here, my Lord, come by here. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Come on.
Oh, Lord.
Come on.
Come by here.
Hey, Miss Girl Guitar. I learned a few things. One, we be one. And if you can't negotiate your way out of something, what do? Change the subject. Yes. So our next performance is by North Carolina Central University Repertory Dance Company.
I have a question. Do you know anything about Dr. King? But do you know about his wife?
Some people do, and some people don't. So this next piece is titled His Truth, and it is dedicated to an activist, a civil rights leader. It's the wife of Dr. Martin Luther King, Coretta Scott King, for standing by her man and her husband while he lived his truth. Because we all know that behind every great man is a what? Is a great woman. So So let's give it up for the Repertory Dance Company of North Carolina Central University.
Controversial issues confronting our nation. I'm using as a subject from which to preach why I am opposed to the war in Vietnam. Let me make it clear in the beginning that I see this war as an unjust, evil, and futile war. I preach to you today on the war in Vietnam because my conscience leaves me with no other choice. The time has come for America to hear the truth about this tragic war. In international conflicts, the truth is hard to come by because most nations are deceived about themselves. Rationalizations and the incessant search for scapegoats are the psychological cataracts that blind us to our sin. But the day has passed for superficial patriotism. He who lives with untruth lives in a spiritual state. Freedom is still the bonus we receive for knowing the truth. Ye shall know the truth, says Jesus, and the truth shall set you free. I've chosen to preach about the war in Vietnam today because I believe with confidence that the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in a period of moral crisis maintain their neutrality. There comes a time when silence is betrayal. Truth of these words is beyond doubt. Silence is betrayal.
Thank you very much, North Carolina Central University Repertory Dance Company. We have to give it up for Christy Johnson, the choreographer of this group. Yes. But that look though, in the beginning, like fierce. Thank you, thank you. So we're about to take an intermission, but before we do, Andrea Woods Valdez, the curator of this event of Women at Work concert series, which is now in its 4th year, with the support and help from the Hayti Heritage Center as a collaborator, also Durham Magazine. So we're so thankful for the support of those institutions. But we're going to bring Andrea up, who has a brief announcement to make.
Let's give it up to our beautiful MCs. I knew what was coming, but I didn't know what was coming, so thank you, this is beautiful. Hi everybody, but just to be very brief, over the course of this year, one of the things I want to develop, which I've been interested in doing a while ago, is connecting women at work as a creative project to literacy. And so one of the goals is to start having reading mentor teams that work with young women, and I'm about to start a think tank for the project. The project doesn't exist yet. So if you're interested, I know some people have been reading mentors, some people might be connected to groups of young women that could benefit from the program. There's a sign-up sheet on the left, the table at the door with the t-shirts. If you leave your name and information, I'll be in touch with you either virtually or in person to see how the project unfolds. Because as you can see, most of our work has to do with the word, the spoken word, the written word, literature, the embodiment of the word, or the word in practice through the body. And so I think our art practice is a wonderful way to maybe reach people on another level throughout the year. So thank you. Enjoy the vendors outside. Get up and go and mingle or something during the intermission. Don't just sit there.